The first season of Monsters at Work was hit or miss. It was a take it or leave it kind of show. It wasn't a bad season, but it certainly wasn't anything crazy to yell about. The laughs are average, the voice acting was subpar with some standouts, and its story was fine. We knew it was renewed for a second season, and I didn't think it would really ever amount to anything more than a silly Pixar short show. Its second season, however, is the most surprised I've ever been. We've seen a lot of sitcoms and shows like The Office, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Parks and Rec, where the first season isn't really the greatest, and then it knocks itself out the park with its second season. And Monsters at Work Season 2 definitely follows in this regard. Hi there, it's me, the Average Critic, and once again, let's talk about Monsters at Work, Season 2. You can find my Season 1 review in the description below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more great content. So Season 2 takes place immediately after the first season, with Tyler becoming a jokester and struggling with his change of career from scarer to jokester. One thing I love much more about this series is its inclusion of Mike and Sully. They were involved in the first season, but it mainly stuck to small cameos. In this season, they are heavily more involved, and it made this show incredibly funnier, as not only are these characters well established and entertaining, but of course John Goodman and Billy Crystal are a comedic duo like no other, and they really got lightning in a bottle with their characters. But not only that, other characters are way funnier in this season. Newer characters like Roger Rogers, voiced amazingly by Rhys Darby, who is just naturally funny with a voice and accent like that. He brings some genuine laugh out loud moments. Tyler's mother, who is played by Aisha Taylor, has some brilliant standout one-liners which are incredibly funny. And also, hearing John Ratzenberger play Tyler's father is a brilliant welcome to a Pixar project. If you don't know who John Ratzenberger is, he has basically had a cameo in damn near every single Pixar movie ever aside from a few, playing such favourites as Ham, P.T. Flea, Mac, John, the Underminer, the Abominable Snowman, and many, many more.
Hey, why can't they call me the Adorable Snowman or the Agreeable Snowman, for crying out loud? I'm a nice guy.
Hearing John Ratzenberger is so much fun, as he was known as Pixar's little Lucky Charm, and he's not really used as much anymore, but it's so nice to hear his voice again. But also, the original characters from the original season also seem way more interesting, and the performances are a definite improvement. Mindy Kaling once again knocks it out of the park as Val with a brilliant and funny performance. And even Ben Feldman as Tyler, who I thought gave an average performance in Season 1, he really steps up his game to bring some incredibly funny moments and some also touching moments as well. We even get a wonderful performance once again from Nathan Fillion as he returns to play his character Johnny Worthington from Monsters University. He becomes a brilliant villain for this season, and he gives an incredibly layered and charismatic performance. Now, the first season story was okay. Its episodes play very much on their own of having their own individual stories, and they connect in small ways. The second season, however, feels way more connected. They still have their own individual storylines from episode to episode, but everything connects more with Tyler's back and forth with Johnny Worthington and his relationship with Val. This allows for everything to feel more connected, and it adds to the stakes of these themes of what the show is going for. I think you can tell that because Season 1 has set everything up, they were able to go way harder with Season 2 with more laughs and better story beats. And the themes of the show don't just stand on their own within the show, but they arc themselves back to the two films that came before it. Monsters Inc. has always been about change in the way we see the world, changing seeing a different side, from Sully's change in seeing Boo's side of the world in the first movie, and Mike in Monsters University seeing the change in himself to adapt to the fact that he just isn't scary. In the second season, change of career is something I didn't think I would see in a Pixar show. The overall stakes of how Tyler feels is really powerful. Being offered the chance to be a scarer instead and added to the weight of his family's poverty is incredibly mature and is something I think children won't understand compared to adults. Val's character is a standout as she is going for a change of the fact that she wants to become a jokester and how that affects the people around her, but also of course having Tyler accept what she wants to be. The emotional moments of this show are really beautiful, genuinely making me tear up in some moments. The second season has so many more conflicting moments of truth to it, as Johnny Worthington tells Tyler, "You can't escape who you are, so just embrace it. This is genuinely good advice from a villain, but when Tyler is given the chance to be a scarer, he doesn't like who he sees. And when Val is given the chance to try and be a jokester, she makes children laugh by being herself rather than kind of trying to be funny, which is kind of a double whammy for this show, as despite the story being about making kids laugh, it does so by making the characters be themselves. The writers could have just tried to make the audience laugh by trying to think of jokes and funny moments, but instead they decide to have the characters be themselves in a genuine and beautiful way. And of course, by the end of it, it arcs itself off brilliantly at the end of the show by having Tyler and Val be a comedic duo. Having them be funny together makes for such a wonderful, heartfelt moment. This second season's story really kept me on my toes, as I didn't know where they were going with it. At first, it was the idea of Tyler maybe accepting who he is for being a scarer because he isn't funny, very similarly how Mike was in Monsters University, to then Val wanted the acceptance of change in her career like Sully wanted the change in the first movie, to then back to Tyler not liking what scaring did, as when he scares a child he knows, it is a very emotional moment in the show, and then working together with Val to make change for the better, just like Mike and Sully did in the first two films. Fuck! Just hearing it now, this show is so brilliantly beautiful. It adds up to the overall arcs of not just the show, but the original movies. The music is also an improvement, as there is a theme in this season that adds to those emotional moments incredibly well, and it was so beautiful. So Monsters at Work Season 2 is finally when the show came into its own skin of being a truly wonderful show. The first season is fine, but this season was something I did not expect to enjoy as much as I did. For a show that obviously doesn't have the budget that the films get, it delivers on a brilliant level. The only time the budget shows is in some of the action moments in the animation, as it doesn't look quite as smooth as the films, but overall, Monsters at Work Season 2 was the most surprising thing to come out. And it wasn't even made by Pixar, but by Disney Television Animation. You know, the same people who brought us the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command show. Its overall themes of change arcs itself incredibly well. It made me laugh very hard, and its performances have improved so much. Seeing this season makes me excited for a third season, as it does kind of hint that a third season might be on the way if it gets greenlit. But if you have watched the first season like me and you weren't massively impressed, get through it and watch the second season, because I was incredibly entertained from start to finish. So after all that, I'm going to give Monsters at Work Season 2 my professional rating of 9 out of 10. And my personal rating of 10 out of 10. I genuinely can't fault this on a personal level. It's my kind of humor, my level of mature themes and awesome performances, and the cast really knocked it out the park. So thank you for joining me in this video. Let me know in the comment section what are some of your thoughts on the second season of this show if you have watched it. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more great content on all things animation. And also click on the video on the screen right now, because this kind of tells YouTube that my, videos are worth watching, I guess. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok as well. Thank you so much for watching me, guys, and I will see you all in the next one.